UFC 317 went down, and it was a good card. It exceeded all expectations. We all, yeah, I'm sure in the back of our mind we were worried we are going to have another situation similar to UFC Baku City, where it's got all these good fights on paper, but they actually turn out to be bad. But no, this was actually a good card. We got banger fights. But without further ado, let's get into the card. Jahanta Dinez versus Alvin Hines. Now, I picked Alvin Hines. He didn't win, but he did a good showing of himself. I will admit I missed the first round and a half. I think I ended up watching towards the end of the second round, maybe even the third round, which is very unfortunate. But I heard this was a really good fight. I caught the third round, and Hines looked very good, was pressuring forward, showed good cardio, showed a good chin, took a lot of damage, but he just took it, He's a very durable guy, and he's only been training for 4 years, and he was actually very competitive on the feet. In pretty much a pure striking fight. He shot some takedowns, but really had no success there. And he was actually very successful in a pure striking fight with a former Glory heavyweight kickboxer in Dinez. So that was very impressive of him. But Alvin Hines does get the win here. But, not just to take everything from Dinez, but Dinez's takedown defense looked a lot better in this fight. He was actually stuffing some takedowns, so that was really good to see from him. But Alvin Hines gets the win. No, he doesn't get the win, sorry. Dinez gets the win in a very close fight over a very tough opponent in Alvin Hines. Then we had Jacoby Smith versus Nico Price. Now, this was a really weird fight, as in Jacoby Smith looked very good in the first round. He was looking very good, looking like the prospect Will Ford he was. Very fast. The speed advantage was crazy. The athleticism advantage was crazy. Landed a big shot that sort of hurt Nico Price, was throwing him around. But then towards the end of the first round, he was just gassed. It was weird. I don't know what gassed him out. Maybe he had a staph infection or he was injured. I don't know, but it was very weird. He looked very, very weird. Like, it was just weird that he gassed so easily. Nico Price gassed too. There was a lot of wrestling, a lot of scrambling back and forth. But, yeah, it was just very, very fucking weird, to be honest with you guys. It was a very weird fight. Jacoby Smith, second round. He looks like he's really gassed in the second round. Nico Price is landing some big shots, moving forward, but eventually, Jacoby Smith gets a rear naked choke out of nowhere, essentially. He got it in very quickly, but very, very weird performance. He looked good, in the first round, but like the gas tank is a bit of a worry. Like, on the Dana White Contender Series, he looked so good. Like, he was destroying the guy. He didn't look gassed at all. His cardio looked crazy, but I guess Nico Price was just a very big step up, which, really threw everything off here that I thought about Jacoby Smith. I thought Jacoby Smith was like, just get him some easy wins and he'll just be right up there in the rankings. And that could still be true, but that cardio is a big worry. You could fix cardio, though, but it was just very worrying. I don't know how he gassed. He looked a bit smaller than he did against Preston Parsons as well, which was also interesting. Maybe I'm just misremembering that fight, but he looked a lot bigger against Parsons, but it is what it is, man. He looked good regardless, but the gas tank was a bit worrying. But, he still beat Nico Price, which is still tough, but he's clearly a bit past his prime. But anyway, moving on up, we had Terrence McKinney versus Vloslav Borshev. This one didn't last very long. Terrence McKinney gets an immediate mounted guillotine choke, and he wins. Now, I'm just going to put this out there. Terrence McKinney has 7 finishes in the UFC, I believe. He's got 0. That's right, 0 performance bonuses. And this fight continues to be another one because he still has not got a performance bonus after all these finishes. Actually very crazy when you think about it that way because he is just finishing people. It was a submission, but it was a cool one. It was quick. It was straight away. But no, Terrence McKinney doesn't get one. Maybe they just want to keep him being as active as possible. And if they give him performance bonuses, he might decide to take a bit of a step back. But he won. He's now on a 2-fight winning streak. He's going to need a big step up because, let's be fair, Slavklov isn't the greatest. He's good. But he beat Damir Hadzovic's fight before this. Terrence McKinney did. Now he's fighting Slavklov, who's not known for his takedown defense. They're really trying to build him back up after so many KO losses. And now he's on a 2-fight winning streak, so he's not even in danger of being cut now. But Slavklov might. But hopefully not. Hopefully Slavklov gets another fight. But anyway, Terrence McKinney wins. We had Tracy Cortez versus Vivian Ariahu. Tracy Cortez wins. She got a 30-27. Did good the grappling. and she won. Then we had Jose Delgado versus Hyder Emil. Jose Delgado fucking chinned him in 26 seconds. I picked Hyder Emil. I was like, why is this guy an underdog? You know, he's got a very good style. He presses forward. He always has fun fights. And he was doing that here. He moves forward, big leg kick, clinch, fucking him up in the clinch, big shot, and then he just gets kneed in the head, and that's it. We've seen Hyder Emil take so many shots, and then he gets chinned. Now, this is the first fight I'm watching of Hyder Emil after finding out he's actually a quarter Indian. And this was brought to a lot of people's attentions, and it is just crazy. He gets KO'd in Indian type fashion after this. Now, I'm not shitting on the Indian fan base or anything like that. It's just, if you've seen the Indian fighters lately, they've all been KO'd in real big meme ways, and it's just been brought to the public consciousness that he is part Indian. His dad was part Indian and Turkish, and he gets chinned. Just very unfortunate, because I was like, oh my god, Hyder Emil, like, India's got an actual good fighter here in Hyder Emil, and then he literally gets knocked out immediately after everybody finds out he's Indian, part Indian. Obviously, he's barely Indian at all, but like, I just thought that was very, very interesting, you know. But shout out to Indians. I like Indians, like, very cool people. And, you know, I don't want to pile on with the hate train and everything. Like, I'm just saying, it's just Indian MMA fighters having a tough time, and then you had Hyder Emil, who's mixed, and he's actually been on a good run, and then it just ends with him getting chinned in 26 seconds. Now, he kept wanting to fight. I would give that to Hyder Emil. He wanted to keep fighting, but he was clearly out. If the fight would have kept going, he would have just been put fucking out cold. Even worse. Good stoppage. And Jose Delgado now called out William Gomez, which is weird because Hyder Emil literally just beat William Gomez. Why would you call him out after you just beat the guy who beat him? That is like a weird fucking call out to do. But hey, that fight, I guess, was a split, so it could have gone either way, I guess. I guess Delgado thought Gomez won, I don't know. But anyway, then we had Gregory Rodriguez versus Jack Hermansson. Gregory Rodriguez gets a brutal left hook KO. I predicted this one correctly. I was very glad I predicted this one correctly. I thought this was a very confident pick. Hermansson doesn't really have the power to go in there and like worry Gregory Rodriguez, even though Rodriguez has been chinned a couple times. Hermansson's not really a KO guy. The grappling would be hard for Hermansson to get into, and Gregory Rodriguez brutally knocks him out with a left hook. Follow-up shot, there was no need for that by Gregory Rodriguez, but he did it anyway. I want to say, I think they're going to do Gregory Rodriguez versus Israel Adesanya next. Now, I know rankings-wise it doesn't really make sense, but Izzy said that he's not fighting Strickland and that after this weekend he'll find out who he's fighting. I have a theory that he was waiting to see Gregory Rodriguez, if Gregory Rodriguez would beat Hermansson. Obviously, Hermansson's they're under the same management, so I think he wanted Gregory Rodriguez to win, and then he could like fight Robocop, because he's been calling for Robocop for a while. He said this is a guy he always wanted to fight, and I could see them doing that fight, especially if Izzy wants it. It'd be an interesting fight. I think people are going to assume Izzy would just knock him out, but I think Gregory Rodriguez actually has a really good shot in that fight. I know he got chinned by Jared Cannonier, but he looked really good this fight, and he is generally really good against bigger opponents, weirdly enough. Like, the bigger you are, like, the more chance that Gregory Rodriguez is going to beat the shit out of you. If you're a fucking welterweight, then he loses to welterweights. It's like lighter man skill is just his worst nightmare. I know Jared Kennedy is technically heavyweight, former heavyweight and everything, but he's still a smaller guy, 5'10", 5'11", very short. But against taller, bigger guys like Chidin and Chokwe, who is now a welterweight himself, but you know what I mean. Like, he's beating on the taller, rangier dudes all the time. But anyway, good performance by Gregory Rodriguez. Then we had Peyton Talbot versus Felipe Lima. I picked Felipe Lima, and Jesus Christ, he could have won this fight if he fought a bit smarter, but he didn't. He kept shooting and shooting. Peyton Talbot's takedown defense looked a lot better. I also think that the whole thing with him having his equilibrium being damaged was actually true, because like, he clearly had very good hips here, very good scrambles, couldn't get held down at all really by Lima. I really do think he got hit in the equilibrium against Ronnie Barcelos, and that's why he was so easy to hold down and take down. I think he had no balance. This fight, he had crazy balance, would keep getting up, was piecing him up, was getting top mount and all these positions. And Felipe Lima is a good guy. For Peyton Talbot to come here and bounce back against a guy like this, very, very impressive. Shocked me a little bit. I'm not going to lie. Like, I was really shocked. I thought this was going to be a Felipe Lima, like, clear win, but I was wrong. I was very, very wrong. But it is cool. Peyton Talbot's very marketable, so it's good he gets back in the win streak. He's now 2-0 in Pride Month, so he's a true ally. That's good for Peyton Talbot. Fucking Pride Month ready. Peyton Talbot's a mythical fighter. But yeah, he won. He proved me wrong. So congratulations to Peyton Talbot. I like his style, so I'm not upset that he won or anything like that. I like both fighters, but I guess I was probably rooting for Peyton Talbot just because he's a bigger star, he bring bigger headlines, and if he's improving, that's good for the sport. I feel like he brings in a whole different niche. But it's just crazy. Lieber is like a guy who beat Mamadimov. He beat like really good guys, like, and he just got fucking smoked essentially. Didn't get knocked out or hurt, but like Peyton Talbot was just beating him up. Very good performance by Talbot. Then we had Beneil Dariush versus Renato Moicano. I predicted this one. I was very happy. It was near even, but I was very happy with this prediction. I didn't get a lot of my underdogs. I don't think I got any of them besides Beneil Dariush, so I probably did very bad for my picks, to be honest with you guys. But I was happy I got Dariush. I knew Dariush would win this. He did almost get knocked out in the first round, but he ended up rebounding and just outright winning this fight. He was just better than Renato Moicano. He's still good. Beneil Dariush is still good. Chin's a bit of a worry, but he did survive the knockdown. I say give him like Dan Hooker. Dan Hooker versus Beneil Dariush. Feel like that'd be a good fight. Makes sense, both veterans. And it's probably good, Dariush wins because he would have just retired. So it's good. We got an Assyrian. He's good for the Assyrian MMA fan base. He's a good role model. He's not like a trash talker or anything, but he's not like a bad fighter. So it's good that he didn't like get knocked out. He didn't retire. We can keep seeing him win and see where he goes. But yeah, I just knew he would beat Moicano. I wish that they booked this. I wish this fight would have happened in January because I was so confident Beneil Dariush was going to win then. And he was a big underdog then, but he wasn't as big of an underdog after Renato Moicano lost to. After Renato Moicano lost to Islam Makhachev. Weirdly though, because Islam's like so good, but yeah, I guess Moicano's just not that great. He's not. I love Money Moicano. Don't get me wrong, but also Dariush was just a tough matchup and. This does just make Benoit St. Denis look fucking awful too, though, doesn't it? But anyway, Beneil Dariush got the win. Then we have Joshua Van versus Brandon Royval. Crazy, crazy fight. Fight of the year. You could argue this is fight of the year. Joshua Van looked crazy. Royval was looking really good. Clearly won the second round. Was winning the first round, but Joshua Van saved his life. Saved his career. Not really. He would always get to this point. But he really did save himself, getting a knockdown with 20 seconds to go. That wins him the fight. If that doesn't happen, I think Royval wins this fight. But Joshua Van just turns it around with a big left hook, I think it might have been a 3-punch combo, drops him, gets the knockdown, that saves him and gets him the fight. Very close fight, very fun fight. And now we got Joshua Van versus Alexandre Pantoja. What a fucking fight that's going to be. And speaking of which, Alexandre Pantoja versus Kai Kara-France. I picked Kai Kara-France, one of the worst predictions I've ever made. I really thought Kai Kara-France had crazy takedown defense. I thought that Pantoja wouldn't be able to do anything to him on the ground, but he immediately got him down. He was catching him on the feet. He's a different type of fighter, and it's very weird how MMA works. Kai Kara-France absolutely smoked Steve Erceg, but Steve Erceg actually has a super close fight with Pantoja. It doesn't make any sense. And then Pantoja just runs through Kai Kara-France like fucking nothing. There was no moment of success really for Kai Kara-France. It was crazy, to be honest. I think maybe the pressure got to Kai Kara-France because he has better takedown defense typically than Steve Erceg, or at least on paper it looked like it. But when this fight, he just went out there and absolutely just got taken down at will, really. It was crazy. It was crazy. I really thought he would have a lot more success here, but styles make fights, and Pantoja was just too fucking good. He was just too good for Kai Kara-France, and he lost. I was so wrong. I couldn't have been more wrong about this fight. I really thought Kai Kara-France was going to stuff the takedowns and win a decision, but no, had no success at all. You could argue that the guy that Kai Asakura, you can argue Kai Asakura did better, and he didn't even do great at all, but Pantoja's just too good. Get him his respect on the pound-for-pound rankings, for fuck's sake. Get him above Tom Aspinall and above a bunch of other champions. He's literally got 5 title defenses. I think 4, actually. He beat... who did he defend? He defended against Royval, Erceg, defended against Asakura, and then he defended against Kai Kara-France. That's 4. So he got 4. He's got 5 title wins all up. Get him above. Get him up the fucking rankings. But yeah, Pantoja versus Joshua Van will be a really sick fight. And Joshua Van's got a good shot, good cardio, very good takedown defense, and he's improving rapidly. However, I don't know how long it's going to take them to book this fight, but we might get our first champion in the 2000s, which would be huge. Or Pantoja just fucking annihilates him on the ground, which is also possible. But anyway, we had Ilia Topuria versus Charles Oliveira. A lot of people were saying, Ilia Topuria is going to be too small, and Charles Oliveira is going to sub him and take him down, and he had no success in this fight at all. Ilia Topuria just absolutely annihilated him. Oliveira got like a close takedown, and then Ilia Topuria just reversed it, got on top, cut him open in this fight, pieced him up on the feet, and then brutally KO'd him 2 minutes and 27 seconds into round number one. It was a very quick fight. Like, it was very, very quick. It was not a long fight. Like, this was Ilia Topuria's easiest fight against his biggest, strongest opponent. I think Damon Jackson lasted longer. Which is crazy. This was the easiest fight of Ilia Topuria's UFC career, and it was against Charles fucking Oliveira. That is crazy to me. Like, that is very impressive. Ilia Topuria is going to smoke every lightweight they put him against very easily, I feel like. He's very, very good. He's absolutely a monster. And it'll be interesting to see. They had Paddy face off, but I waited to upload this because I want to watch the press conference. And Dana said, like, yeah, if I was there, that wouldn't have happened. I wouldn't have let Paddy in the ring. So I don't think Paddy Pimblett is next. I want to see Arman Tsarukyan versus Ilia Topuria. It's the biggest fight you can make, but I think they might go with Gaethje. I mean, Dana didn't seem happy with Gaethje saying he was going to retire either, so it's like we have a weird little logjam at the moment, so it'll be interesting to see who they get the fight to. I think we're going to either get Arman Tsarukyan versus Justin Gaethje, or we're going to get Paddy Pimblett versus Justin Gaethje, or we're going to get a mix of those three fights. We're either going to get Pimblett versus Gaethje, Gaethje versus Tsarukyan, or we're going to get... I don't know. You guys know what I mean. We're gonna get one of those guys fighting, and then one of them's gonna get the title fight. And my money is probably... it's tough to know. I think Paddy will probably just get the title shot just because he'll bring the biggest name. But Justin Gaethje's got the Ali Abdelaziz management, and he does seem to get his fighter's title shot. So it'll be interesting to see who's next. But he's just gonna smoke them all. I think he absolutely smokes Arman Tsarukyan. I think he smokes Paddy Pimblett. I think he smokes Justin Gaethje. And dare I say, if Islam Makhachev comes back down after JDM beats him up, I think that Islam's getting put out cold by Ilia too. He looked really good. Looked powerful. Takedown defense looked really good. He looked very strong. Looked like a lightweight. Even though he was shorter, he had the build, he had the weight, he had everything. And he went out there and he absolutely destroyed a former UFC lightweight champion in Charles Oliveira, a guy who's destroyed every other fighter in the weight class. Well, not destroyed every fight. Obviously, lost to Islam and Arman, but like he beat all of these like top contenders like Dustin Poirier, Michael Chandler, Justin Gaethje, or did I already say Gaethje? Or Dustin Poirier. Like he beat like all the big guys, but lost to Arman. But it was a very close fight. Like against Arman, it was a back and forth fight. Ilia just destroys him first round. Against Islam, it was somewhat competitive. He still clearly won the first round, I think, but it was a close fight. It wasn't easy as people made it seem, but this was easy. This was really easy. Now, Charles is, a bit older after that fight, so you can argue that's a reason, but I think Ilia is just going to smoke all of these lightweights. And maybe you actually do move this guy up to welterweight eventually, because, I don't know if anyone's going to give him a challenge. He just destroyed Charles Oliveira, who's the guy who was running this division 2-3 years ago, and he did it with ease. I had somebody say, but Chandler almost finished him. Chandler got destroyed that whole fight, and he only had success because he literally cheated, held the fence, eye gouged him. Very unfair, But in this fight, Jesus Christ, Ilia is a fucking marauder. People forget, man, Ilia Topuria, he's a marauder. And he destroyed him. I was saying second round, but he didn't even wait till the second round. He didn't even see his corner. He didn't have to talk to him until after the fight. Absolutely smokes him. Brutal KO. Charles normally gets dropped and he's still awake and conscious and, trying to get people to come into his guard. But when Ilia Topuria touches you, you go to sleep. He beat Alexander Volkanovski by KO, Max Holloway by KO, and Charles Oliveira by KO back to back to back. That is impressive. That is crazy. Ilia Topuria just built absolutely different, and I look very forward to seeing how he goes. And I hope he doesn't retire at 30. Please just keep fighting until you're like 33 at least. He has real potential to be the GOAT, but yeah, he's now a double champ, not technically because he's not featherweight, but you know what I mean. He's won 2 belts now. He's a featherweight champion and a lightweight champion. Very, very impressive from Ilia Topuria, and thank God that Volk rematch didn't happen. Jesus Christ. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you like this video, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Ilia Topuria is going to become the GOAT. I really do think that Ilia Topuria is, if he keeps fighting, he's gonna lap lightweight really quickly. He's gonna beat Justin Gaethje. He's gonna beat Arman Tsarukyan. He'll beat Max in a rematch. He will beat Paddy Pimblett. He will beat Gamrot. He will beat all of these guys. I really don't see who gives him any problems at this point. But we'll see what happens. We'll see. You never know. Some big challenger could just come up and completely throw him off. But I don't think that's going to be the case here. I think Ilia Topuria is going to just run this division. And I look forward. I hope we get the Islam fight. I don't even care if he loses to JDM. I need Ilia Topuria versus Islam Makhachev. Just give it to me. I don't care. Just Islam, fucking don't even move up. Come back down. We need this fight. Do it. You said there's no big fights for you at lightweight. There is now, buddy. Do that fight. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe, put on notifications. I'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.